Hi, I'm Waylon Smalley, and you're back at my garden. But today it's not my garden. We've got a special treat for everybody. If you remember back at subscriber submissions 10, Scott, a new member, had sent in photos of his Lotus. Luck has it, he's within 100 miles, and I was able to go visit Scott and Virginia's home and see their Lotus firsthand.
If you start with a seed,
Yeah.
you don't use any soil. You use a little Tupperware about this deep, a dish with just water. Now, one thing to notice about this, you see the little point on the end of the seed?
Yes.
Cut the end off the seed and soak the seed in water in order to get it to sprout. And then you plant it later on. It's important to know that it's the point end, that's the end you would cut off.
Where do you cut it back?
Just past that.
The white ring?
If you cut it off, water can get inside of there. Now, like I said, it's hard as a brick. What you find is if you soak these in water, they soften up a huge amount. I would soak it first and get it soft. Then you could cut through it, because you see on the internet, you see guys using shears and things, or trying to file it off. These two were planted not from seeds, but from the root thing, the rhizome. You get those things and they're kind of pale with a little hook at the end and a sort of a node, and plant that not deep. They say just kind of like set it in there and put a little rock to hold it down, and that node will come up and produce a little coin-sized leaf. So that's his initial starter effort to get some energy out of the sun. He will then later put up larger leaves and then larger, more like this pancake-sized leaf. We had some that covered the entire surface of this bucket, but what you're waiting for are these leaves that come up above the water. When you start getting those, it's time to put in some plant food. And there's some people actually use pellets that they stick in the soil for, I guess, a slow release effect, but other people just throw in the powder and go on. If you put in the powder before you have above the water leaves, that can actually slow things down, according to what I've read. So we have 3 varieties of Lotus here. The ones that have produced the most are these Blushing Bride. That's these 2 pots. And you can see this blossom. This is the last blossom probably this season for this guy. And these leaves are about to fall off. He's been open several days already, so he's due to drop all of his petals pretty soon and then just start fattening up like that. But you can see we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 8 or 9 pods. We had 8 or 9 flowers from this. Lotus are supposed to like the worst soil you can find, the muck at the bottom of a pond. So as you can see, these 2 did well in that, are planted in clay and a little topsoil mixed in. The clay is from my neighbor's yard. These 2 are a different variety. They're called Maggie B. Slocum. But this soil is a mixture of 1 bag of sand and 1 bag of topsoil. What they call topsoil is the strangest stuff I've ever seen. When I fertilized these, I had these massive algae growth that I didn't see in my other pots, and these have really struggled to kind of get going. I didn't get a blossom out of these this whole year. I never did get a leaf any taller than this. And this, by the way, is the sacred lotus. The Lumbo nucifera, they call it. I ordered these from seed, and I planted those in pots last year, but I put those pots in my pond. I just set them down in the pond, but it was too shady, and I didn't know that. So I never got any leaves from this that were larger than a quarter. This year, after I got these big tubs, I just took that pot and set it down inside and filled it with water so that it doesn't have any more room to grow than it had before, but it's out here in the sun. And at first, these also kind of struggled, but then this one, at the last minute, it gave me 2 tremendous buds. This is going to be what looks like my last bud of the year. I would give him probably 3 more days before he's ready. And then yesterday, all of his petals fell off. So, one thing I learned about this, in Wisconsin, they regard this as an invasive species, and they prefer the Native American yellow blossom type lotus. You see those on ponds all over the place. There's something fun I want to show you about these. Let me get a little water in my hand. The reason I wanted to show you this is the lady from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources said that Lotus taught us a lot about how to waterproof things.
Oh.
And so you can see how that just rolls around like mercury.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny that time I came out and there was a leaf floating on the water, but with a droplet of water on it and a tadpole kicking inside of it. So of course I put him into the main water. But I contacted the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. They pointed out that the seeds of lotus are very good to eat. They say that in some cultures, Cambodia, they'll take these stalks and make a fiber out of it and then weave clothing from these stalks. Other places have massive flooded fields growing lotus. Guys out there pulling huge boats, and they've gathered up these things, or they've gathered up the roots, the rhizomes that they're going to consume in some fashion. It makes me wonder if American agriculture is missing out on something. Maybe we should be doing more with our lotus, because I'm pretty sure we don't have a commercial lotus industry. Nobody's eating lotus blossoms or lotus rhizomes. We're not making clothes, but maybe we should be.
Thank you, Scott and Virginia, for allowing me to come to your home and share your lotus with the world. I know everybody appreciates your hard work and the beauty of these flowers. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.